What's up, everybody? EJ80 Proof. Today, I want to talk about 3 ways men say I love you. Originally, it was 3 ways that men show love, but I'll explain that in a minute. Men and women communicate in different ways on all different levels. But one thing is I've heard a lot of complaints that he just don't say I love you enough. And I am here to tell you that he says I love you more times than you may recognize. So we're going to get into this. But before we start, don't forget, hit that subscription button and hit that notification bell so you'll always know when I'm putting out new content and you can stay up to speed with me. Because I got some more stuff. You know I'm always coming. All right, number 1, doing something. Men express how they feel about you in the things that they do. I give you a for instance. When you ask a man to help you with something that he knows goddamn well you could do by yourself, instead of him saying, no, do it yourself, he gets up and he goes and he puts himself through personal hardship to accomplish that thing that you could have done on your own. It would have been just as easy for you to do it than for him to do it. But he did it because of how he feels about you. That is him saying, I love you. I give you an example. I remember one time that I believed that I was crazy in love. And this woman was stuck at my mom's house in a blizzard. And I got the call that she couldn't get home because she didn't have any money. So I got dressed and I walked to my mother's house, literally in a blizzard, snow up to my neck. Well, maybe not, maybe a little lower. But it was a blinding blizzard, and I walked. And I gave her the token to get home. And I walked back through the blizzard to my house. If that doesn't say I love you, then nothing I'll ever do will. But that's not what the interpretation was. See, she missed that. Men are always doing things to show you how much they love you, and they don't always say it. You have to learn to interpret their actions and accept it for what it is. Just like we have to sit around and learn your actions to interpret what it is so we can bring this communication together. So, number 1, men show love through doing things, the things that they do for you. Number 2, men show love by buying you things. Now, I joked around and I said that, for an anniversary, I would buy her a new pots and pan set. That's not love, brother. That is going to be a lot of hell in that household. But men show love by buying things for you. It's like when you go to a car lot, and trust me, I'm not equating women to objects, but I'm just follow my example for a minute. You go to a car lot and you see a broken down jalopy of a car that you can't see no value in whatsoever. And the dealer walks up and says, hey, isn't that a beauty? I'll give it to you for $10,000. You can have it. You'd be like, I wouldn't give you $1 for that piece of crap. Because he can't see any value in that car. But then he goes across the street and they show him a Lambo, a Ferrari, a Bugatti, and they tell him, oh yeah, I'll give this to you for $100,000. He'd be like, man, do you take payments? Can I pay with my credit card? Can I write you a check? Because he can see the value in those cars. So he's okay with putting his money out there. Well, it's the same thing with women. If he can't see any value in you, he doesn't want to spend no money on that. If he don't see value in you, you're the equivalent of that broken down jalopy of a car to him. Just to him. And he don't want to put no money in that. But if he sees value in you, then you would be equated to that Lambo, that Ferrari, that Bugatti. And no matter how high the price is, he'd be like, man, do you take WIC? Do you take EBT cards? What? You know, he will invest every penny he can possibly invest because he sees the value. Now, it might not be him just giving you straight out cash. I don't know, I don't know any guys that do that, but, if they do, kudos to them. But he buys things for you personally and things for the house that would make you more comfortable, things that you like that have no meaning to him whatsoever. He can't even understand why you like it, but he'll get it. This is him showing that he sees value in you. This is him saying, I love you. Number 3, he says, I love you through alcohol. No, that's not true. I'm joking. Number 3, he says, I love you by saying something. Now, not all the time do we come out and say, I love you. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. More often than not, most men don't do it. But he will make a big deal out of something. He loves your cooking. He loves the way you clean. Depending on the level of cavemanism that he is subjected to, he might come in and say, oh, the house is clean, so I could relax. Now, everybody, all the women liberals will probably say, what the hell does he mean that the house is clean, now he can relax? But if you know your man and you know how he communicates with you, then you'll be fine. You get that. I was watching an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, and Marie, Raymond's mother, and Frank, Raymond's father, got into an argument. So they broke up. Frank was staying at Raymond's house, Marie staying at her own house. When the episode was over and they came back together, Frank walked into the door, sat down at the kitchen table, and opened his newspaper and started reading it. Marie looked at him and said, you want some eggs? And he said, yes. He said, with salt and pepper on it. She said, I always make it with salt and pepper. He said, yeah, that's why I asked. And everybody would say, he didn't apologize. He came home. That's I love you. She said, you want some eggs? That's I love you too. That's how they communicate. Learn your man or your woman or whoever your mate is. And however they communicate, deal with them like that. Stop listening to how people say, a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, or girlfriend, or whatever, how y'all should communicate. Leave these soap operas alone because they're all washed up. But anyway, those are the 3 ways that men say I love you. I'm EJ80 proof, and alcohol is not one of the ways we say I love you. It just helps. I'm out.